മുറ്റത്ത് ബൈക്ക് കൊണ്ട് നിർത്തി ഹോൺ അടിക്കും. ഇറങ്ങി വരണം. ആദ്യത്തെ ഹോൺ ഇറങ്ങി വന്നോണം. വന്നില്ലേ ഒരു ഹോൺ അടിക്കും. അതിനും വന്നില്ലേ നേരെ വന്ന് വാതിൽ ചവിട്ടി പൊളിച്ചങ്ങ് കയറും. എന്നിട്ട് പൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് ബൈക്കെ വെച്ചങ്ങ് വിടും. അത്ര തന്നെ.
അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരേണ്ടത് ബൈക്കല്ല, ആ ടാങ്കർ ലോറിയാ.
40 years after its release, Namukku Parkkan Muthirithoppukal continues to find new audiences. Most people would say the reason is its romance. I think it's something deeper. I would argue that the film survives the test of time because of one character, Solomon. Even today, Solomon feels remarkably modern for a hero. He doesn't resemble the romantic heroes who came before him. And in many ways, he doesn't resemble the ones who came after him either. We often call him progressive, but that word doesn't fully explain why he still feels alive. Solomon stays with us because Padmarajan gives him something cinema rarely gives its heroes. That is emotional freedom. The freedom to live without constantly performing for the world. Once you see that, every major decision Solomon makes, from the way he loves to the way he walks away at the end, begins to make perfect sense. So let's take a look at Solomon, a hero who has nothing to prove. Most protagonists begin their stories carrying a burden. They want respect, power, success, revenge, or love. Something is missing in their lives, and the story becomes a journey toward filling that absence. Solomon in Namukku Parkkan Muthirithoppukal is completely different. The first thing Padmarajan establishes isn't what Solomon lacks, it's what he already has. He is content, he loves farming, he is fun to be around. He is completely at home in his own life. He is a friend that we all need in our lives. Take a look at Solomon's relationship with his mother. They argue openly, tease each other, and disagree often. Yet, beneath every disagreement is complete trust. When Solomon returns home late, he honks until she comes outside because he refuses to end the day without seeing his mother. He keeps asking for more food to make her happy and ease her anger. Even when she opposes his decisions, he never doubts that she will eventually understand him. In most commercial films, the aging mother becomes the hero's emotional weakness, someone to perfect, rescue, or sacrifice for. Padmarajan turns that convention upside down. Solomon's mother is not his burden, she is his greatest emotional strength. The same ease defines his relationship with his younger cousin Anthony. Solomon never demands obedience or respect. There is no hierarchy between them. Their conversations feel effortless, almost like equals enjoying each other's company. When Anthony visits Solomon's vineyard, we don't simply watch him being welcomed into the house, we feel welcomed ourselves. These moments may seem ordinary, but together they tell us something important. Solomon already likes the life he is living. That makes him unusual because people who are comfortable with themselves rarely feel the need to impress anyone else. Padmarajan captures this idea brilliantly in Solomon's introduction. He arrives driving a giant tanker lorry framed exactly like the entrance of a commercial cinema superstar. Then, Solomon casually reveals that the entire performance was only a prank to tease his mother.
മമ്മയെ ചുമ്മാ ഒന്ന് വിരട്ടാനും കൂടെ വേണ്ടിട്ട് എടുത്തോണ്ട് വന്നതാ. വീണ്ടും ഞാനിത് കേറി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ആദ്യം ഒരു ബഹളമുണ്ട്.
Within minutes, the film dismantles the very image it seemed to celebrate. The message is subtle but powerful. The hero has nothing to prove. That single character decision changes the entire romance in the movie. Most love stories begins with emotional emptiness. The hero feels incomplete until the heroine enters his life. Love becomes the answer to everything that was missing. But there is a problem with this structure that is easy to miss. When love becomes a solution to the hero's life, the heroine slowly stops being a person and starts becoming a solution. She exists to complete him. Padmarajan refuses this idea. Solomon's life is already complete before he meets Sophia. He doesn't need someone to rescue him from loneliness or give meaning to his existence. That changes what love means. Instead of filling a void, love becomes recognition. He sees another human being whose way of living speaks to his own. That is a far healthier and a far rarer kind of romance. Padmarajan even reflects this in Sophia's introduction. Most romantic films introduce the heroine through beauty. Slow motion, music, admiring glances. Sophia enters the story differently. She is digging the earth, working and sweating, trying to build a life for herself. It is an unusually ordinary introduction, but that ordinariness is precisely the point. Solomon doesn't fall in love because Sophia is beautiful. He falls in love because of what she represents. For days, he watches her from a distance before speaking to her. What captures his attention is not her appearance, but her determination. She fights for a job. She fights against her stepfather. She fights against a marriage she doesn't want. Most importantly, she fights to remain independent. Sophia isn't written as someone waiting to be rescued. She is written as someone already rescuing herself. And that is exactly what Solomon recognizes. He isn't attracted to weakness, he admires resilience. In many ways, Sophia is fighting for the very freedom Solomon already possesses. He sees in her not someone to save, but someone who understands the same life he has chosen to live. That makes them equals long before they become lovers. Most screenwriting theories argue that stories are built around transformation. They describe dramatic structure as a journey from ignorance to understanding. Padmarajan's Solomon doesn't fit this model. He doesn't spend the film learning compassion. He doesn't learn humility. He doesn't learn to respect women. He already possesses these qualities long before the story begins. The story isn't asking whether Solomon can become a better man. It asks something much more interesting. Can a good man remain true to himself inside a society built on control? That subtle shift changes everything. The conflict is no longer internal. It becomes philosophical. And this, I think, is a thematic core of the movie. Every obstacle in the film comes from people trying to possess, dominate, or control another human being. Sophia's stepfather wants control over her body and future. Solomon's mother tries to control validation.
Mama.
Sophia's mother suffers because the society couldn't accept a single mother even when she is financially stable. Not us, but the society decides how our honor should be protected.
അത് ചേച്ചിയായിരുന്നൊന്നല്ല പിന്നെ ഡാഡിയാ അതിന് കാരണക്കാരൻ എന്തുണ്ടായാലും കുറ്റം ചാർത്താൻ ഒരു ചേച്ചി.
The character Solomon quietly rejects all of these norms. Rather than changing the hero, Padmarajan slowly exposes this toxic world around him. By the end of the film, Solomon is still the same man we met in the opening scenes. It is the audience whose understanding has changed. The film's boldest decision comes in the final act. When Sophia's stepfather realizes he can no longer control her, he sexually assaults her. Popular cinema has often treated such moments as a point where the heroine's story ends and the hero's revenge begins. Padmarajan knows we expect exactly that. When Solomon appears after the assault, every convention of mainstream cinema prepares us for a violent justice. We want revenge. Paul Pailokaran deserves it. But Padmarajan refuses to satisfy that expectation as well. Solomon does not become a hero by destroying the villain.
നീ വിചാരിച്ചു ഞാൻ തിരിച്ചു വരികില്ലെന്ന്? ഞാൻ അവളെ കൊണ്ടുപോയില്ലെന്ന്? Sophia!
He becomes a hero by refusing to become one. Instead of allowing his anger to dictate his choices, he chooses Sophia. He knows she needs emotional support rather than watching him taking revenge for her.
രണ്ടാമത്തെ ഹോൺ കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇറങ്ങി വരാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്
ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു
Instead of reclaiming honor through violence, he chooses love. Instead of proving his masculinity, he chooses freedom. That final decision reveals who Solomon has been all along. It is easy to call Solomon progressive, but I think that misses the point. What feels modern about Solomon isn't simply that he respects women or rejects traditional masculine tropes. It is that he lives without constantly performing. Most of us spend our lives trying to satisfy someone else's expectations, our parents, our neighbors, our employers, or society itself. We measure ourselves through success, status, and approval. Solomon does none of that. He already knows who he is, and he never asks the world for permission to be that person. We are not drawn to Solomon because he is powerful. We are drawn to him because he is emotionally unburdened. Padmarajan understood something many love stories still struggle to understand. The most attractive person in the room is not the one with most power. It is the one who has nothing to prove. Maybe that's why Solomon never grows old. Ideas of masculinity change, romantic trends change, cinema changes, but the desire to live freely, to love without possession, to live without performance, and to remain yourself in a world that constantly demands otherwise never does.